Guest List by Lucy Foley. Now, the wedding night. The lights go out. In an instant, everything is in darkness. The band stop their playing. Inside the marquee, the wedding guests squeal and clutch at one another. The light from the candles on the tables only adds to the confusion, sends shadow racing up the canvas wall. It's impossible to see where anyone is or hear what anyone is saying. Above the guests' voices, the wind rises in frenzy. Outside, a storm is raging. It shrieks around them. It batters the marquee. At each assault, the whole structure seems to flex and shudder with a loud groaning of matter. The guests groan in alarm. The door have come free from their ties and flap at entrance. The flame of paraffin torches that illuminate the doorway snickers. It feels personal. The storm. It feels as though it has saved all its fury for them. This isn't the first time the electrics have shorted, but last time the lights snapped back on again within a minute. The guests return to their dancing, their drinking, their pill popping, their screwing, their eating, their laughing, and forgot it ever happened. How long has it been now? In the dark, it's difficult to tell. A few minutes, 15, 20. They are beginning to feel afraid. This darkness feels somehow ominous, intent, as though anything could be happening beneath its cover. Finally, the bulbs flicker back on. Whoops and cheers from the guests. They are embarrassed now about how the lights find them, crouched as they thought, ready for fend off an attack. They laugh it off. They almost manage to convince themselves that they weren't frightened. The scene illuminated in Marquis's three adjoining tents should be one of the celebration, but it looks more like one of devastation. In the main dining section, clots of wine spattered the laminate floor. A crimson stain spreads across white linen. Bottles of champagne clusters on every surface, testament to an evening of toast and celebrations. A fold-on pair of silver sandals peeks from beneath the tablecloths. The Irish band began to play again in the dance tent, a rousing ditty to restore the spirit of celebration. Many of the guests hurry in that direction, eager for some light relief. If you were to look closely at where they step, you might see the marks where one barefoot guest has trodden in broken glasses and left bloody footprints across the laminate, drying to a rusty stain. No one notices. Other guests drift and gather in corners of the main tent, nebulous as leftover cigarette smoke, loath to stay, but also loath to step outside the sanctuary of the marquee while the storm still rages. And no one can leave the island. Not yet. The boats can't come until the wind dies down. In the center of everything stands the huge cake. It has appeared whole and perfect before them for most of the day. Its train of sugar foliage glittering beneath the lights, but only minutes before the light went out. The guests gathered around to watch its ceremonial dismembering. Now, the deep red sponge grapes from within. Then from outside comes a new sound. You might almost mistake it for the wind, but it rises in pitch and volume until it's unmistakable. The guests freeze. They stare at one another. They are suddenly afraid again. more so than they were when the lights went out. They all know what they are hearing. It is a scream of terror.